Yeah, so when I talk about and when I preach about universal solar energy legislation, what I'm selling is a dream. And I have a dream that the world will live as one. And it's not unattainable to have boundless, free, clean solar energy that provides electricity to power a battery universally and naturally. It would clean up our oceans and our seas and our skies. It would eliminate the fossil fuel industry as we know it, and it would see to the collapse of China and Russia. Okay? And it would involve the immediate severance of economic ties with the rest of the world unless they adhere to democracy, and the abolishment permanently of countries. And just like Bob Marley used to say, until the color of a man's skin is of no longer significance than the color of his eyes, until we realize that we all breathe the same air, we all come from Africa, we're all monkeys, we're all here together, and democracy is about equality, the world's not going to know peace, and we're going to see a lot of suffering and struggle, a lot of cancer, and a lot of death and war. And one thing that I think people need to understand is income inequality is not equality. When you have billionaires, mega billionaires that have $200-300 billion each individually in a family and an empire, such as with the Koch brothers, the Rothschilds, the Walmart family, the Johnsons and Johnsons, and the Jeff Bezos and the Elon Musk of the world, the planet is suffering. And they're making money off the backs of everybody else in their factories, pumping poison dye and pollutants into the rivers that spawn fish that people used to once be able to eat. And they don't give a shit. They don't seem too interested in the fact that there's a fascist in position to try to get elected again to the presidency of the United States of America after being found guilty of treason, which is punishable by firing squad. In my honest of views upon what he incited by calling on people to march with the Confederate flags into the Capitol building. And aside from being found guilty on 34 felony counts of whatever the fuck nonsense, it seems to be and bullshit and disgustingness and perversion of all sorts. This person was an obese, obnoxious, vulgar personality on the Howard Stern show. And Donald Trump can go fuck himself, and everyone else who thinks that Donald Trump is some kind of fucking Jesus Christ reincarnate can go fuck themselves too, because there's supposed to be a separation between church and state, and it just goes to show you how fucking brainwashed people are. No, Donald Trump's not going to make the economy better. Yes, Donald Trump fucked up the economy, just like the Republicans are still fucking it up. And you don't hear Jeff Bezos saying a goddamn fucking thing about paying people $19 an hour, the majority of which are desperate immigrants from third world country and lower income neighborhoods, working, taking a fucking Uber to his job, and he doesn't have fucking even free food for them. How cheap is that? How fucking cheap is that, man? Great company to work for. Oh yeah, right. So, hey man, let's see how long I last there. Let's see if this pisses off somebody who wants to go to outer space, rather and then invest in a way that we can really fundamentally revolutionize the planet. So we invest in medicine and living longer by producing telomeres inside our DNA and expanding our body's own immune system to fight diseases and know peace on this planet once and for all. Clean energy is the way to go. Universal solar energy legislation would have to happen by funding from the most wealthy, and it would expand our wealth, and we would be exporting the technology to other countries. It would increase our jobs and our output, and our nation would be leading by example. I have a dream, people. I have a dream. I'm not the only one who said that, and things changed, okay? This country, at one point, was filled with people who would say, oh, they'll never live to see the day that there be an African-American president or an end to slavery. There are people who would rather this country go backwards than forwards. They're taking away a woman's right to what to do with her body, just like they've taken away our rights to consume and ingest whatever substance we have a right to consume based on their religious beliefs. And that's what the cannabis laws were in place for originally, to control people. And the amount of ignorance and brainwashing and misinformation. There's a fascist who takes money from gangsters from Russia to tell him, oh, make sure when you go to Congress, you keep drilling for oil so we can go after it in the Arctic with your technology that you're going to sell the Russians. And meanwhile, please dismantle NATO so that Russia can attack Ukraine. That's what the fucking evil administration oil company would love to do, because they would take all this money and invest it in their drilling operations, because they would allow Russia to keep slaughtering people. And dismantling NATO is the dumbest fucking idea. That's the most disrespectful thing for everybody who's died for this country that you could possibly do. That's the umbrella that protects us from the rest of the world attacking us. And for those of you who may or may not know too much about politics, there's a senator, his name is Cory Booker. He should be elected next president, and his running mate, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. And if you don't want to vote for Biden like me, I definitely don't want to vote for Trump. I don't really feel like voting for Biden. Just think of a vote for Biden as a vote for Kamala. And come on, Kamala or Trump. Just look at it that way. If that's what we really have to come down to, this pathetic fucking democracy, which is basically a republic built on lies. No chains around my feet, but I'm not free. I know I'm bound here in captivity. Modern day wage slavery and spending your time working for somebody while they fly around the world, shoot themselves in outer space, and eat caviar, drink champagne all day on a yacht, a helicopter on it, and bang whoever they want on a private jet that's got the size of a living room with a swimming pool inside of it, okay? Laugh all the way to the bank because they just made $150 million in a half a second, while the employees make $19 an hour in a peacetime economy. Okay? Don't run a bullshit by me. You know, you can fool some people some of the time. I got out of Dodge. I got out of Redneckville. And right here at Redneckville, where, you know, I lived for quite a number of years, and I've grown to love my hometown. There are people who've never left this little area, let alone gone to New York City more than a few times in their life. And I kid you not, it's a true story. And when I was a kid, I had to defend my little brother from getting beat up at the bus stop. And I had to be the man and fend for myself against rednecks who would go, "You long hair hippie." Throw bottles of whiskey at me, try to kill me.